Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. It's great to see you, all of you, and the smile on my face is because I get to be with you in this more intimate moment, even though we're miles and miles apart, many of us. As I always acknowledge this beacon on a hill, standing in the middle and above all chaos, transmitting the peace and the beauty that exists everywhere you are all the time. And recognizing how close we are and how connected we all are, which brings another smile. As always, I acknowledge Barbara's broadcast from Sunday and Genya's from Wednesday, the magic that they transmit. And in particular, Barbara spoke about thought forms, thought patterns changing, where we quickly move in a different direction and that there's really nothing to do but allow your spirit to move you to wherever you're heading. And she surprised us with her guest being Robert. And it's always beautiful to see both of them on the screen together, where their connection explodes through the cameras. And how Robert mentioned how those large events that we see as changing our direction are no different than the small ones, and that they have equal weight if you give them equal weight. So every moment you turn because your signal turns you in another direction, and it may be just to go take a nap, it's just as big as a direction that has you move to a new country. And it's just your perspective that makes one seem bigger than the other. But the magic that is produced to transmit that signal, which is connected to things we don't yet know are coming, is the same and just as powerful. And Genya spoke on Wednesday about her music and our music. And as she moved us through her field of music and magic, we followed, skipping along behind her as she played her instrument. And she took us to some amazing places. So thank you always to both of you. And we always look forward to every broadcast. We're always considering the potential of having a guest on. And as you saw with my invitation this week, I do have a guest, and a very special guest. And as my invitation spoke about it is the time of your revealing. So in your revealing of yourself, it is a huge thing that happens to each of us. And as you saw in the picture, if you saw the picture, the groom was lifting the veil of the bride, revealing her magnificence. And that's what's happening to each of us. Our magnificence is being revealed. And as I spoke or said in the invitation, it comes through the eyes. And there were her eyes, filled with her world, her origin, all that she has created, staring back at him. And that's what's happening to each one of us. The light is pouring through as we are being revealed. And in that revealing, nothing has any influence over us, because we are looking and operating from behind our eyes, from our origin. So before I bring Moji on, I want to just read something that was brought to my memory that I had read before. And Moji and I, we were a part of revealing things. And as I read this, I'm transmitting all that is behind my eyes. Behind your eyes, I see the most beautiful being standing before me, one who sits in total freedom, but who is held back from their pure expression because of the control of the system. This incredible being stays hidden behind curtains that are pulled down over their true eyes, only allowing them to be seen when they feel safe. Once revealed, the beauty is both seen and felt as you are taken behind their veil directly to their origin. From there, they are able to transmit the pure signal directly from source, unfiltered and unlimited, without any fear or doubt, so that their true kingdom is seen, even as we are standing in this physical dimension. As the new energies continue to pour onto the planet, the you that is behind your eyes will come forward in greater and greater proportion. No longer will that you just appear to yourself and the few that you have been given to share it with, but it will come forward for the whole world to see. This is the new world that is here. This is the new world that is you. Behind your eyes, I see you now. Behind your eyes, to you I bow. Behind your eyes, I see the light. Behind your eyes, a brilliant sight. Behind your eyes, your true self lives. Behind your eyes, from here you give. Behind your eyes, there's a majesty and grace. Behind your eyes, a magnificent face. Behind your eyes, the unlimited you. Behind your eyes, there is nothing to do but to pull up the shade for the world to see your beauty and power, your love for humanity. Continue stepping forward. You will obtain the prize as you reveal the you that sits behind your eyes. My friend Mojgan Nagipour, Moji, is a visionary and a warrior. And it belies sometimes the vulnerability and the softness and beauty that she transmits, and her caring for all humanity is magnificent. So I'm honored to have her here as my guest. And with that introduction, I say hello to Moji. We can't hear you.
Thank you. Hello, David.
Hey, Moji.
Wow. I'm still processing what you just expressed. And tears are just coming down. It was truly magnificent. Thank you. Thank you for the most beautiful expression that is you. Wow. Just allow me a few minutes to be able to catch my breath, because that's just absolutely gorgeous. Brilliant. And I thank you. You always have the perfect words, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Moji. That's a part of my plan to throw my guest off.
Oh, well, you've done a beautiful job. And as you can hear, Lilu agrees with that as well. I think the whole universe agrees with you.
I haven't told everyone where you are, so if you would like to.
No, please go ahead, because I'm still catching my breath, if that's okay with you. Please go ahead and do the introduction if you don't mind, because I'm still processing. I'm still feeling everything that you just expressed. It's just absolutely beautiful. Please.
So Moji is in Hawaii. She's on the Big Island. I just found out near Waimea, if you guys know Hawaii. I don't know it that well, except I've been to Kauai. And I met Moji in Mount Shasta. And that's her little dog, Lilu, who is quite a being in her own right.
Indeed.
I met Moji in Mount Shasta, and then I think it's been like 3 years that you've been in Hawaii now too?
July 15th next year is going to be 3 years.
Okay.
So it's been 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Exactly. June or July? June. I'm sorry, June 15th. So 2.5 years.
It's about the same amount of time I've been here. You went to Hawaii and I came to Santa Barbara.
I know, isn't it interesting?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for having me here. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your beautiful family and to have this beautiful conversation with each other, this sharing with each other. So thank you.
Thank you. I think we had been talking off and on recently about a little bit about this in terms of the revealing for each person that's coming onto the planet, and how we've each felt it in our own way, with so much power, and knowing that that's happening for everybody at some level, at whatever level it's happening for them. But we've had quite a few amazing things show up constantly for you, as I think for all of us, the revealing just continues to, it never ends. It's Robert has a line that we all say, there's always more, and there's always more. And
Infinite.
you know that. Yeah. So it just feels like everyone is, oh, love those birds. It's having a revealing of their own, and it's powerful, it's beautiful to see, and your life is never the same because you can't go back when something new is revealed. It naturally eliminates what was there because something new comes and takes its place, and so you don't have to do anything. It just falls away because you're no longer there. So
It really solidifies everything that we've always known. It really just anchors that knowingness within us. It really reveals our own infinite power that we are. And can you imagine if this was given to us from the beginning?
mm-hmm.
You know, it would be, we needed to be able to receive snippets of it. I'm, sharing that from my own personal experience, because those aha moments are the most amazing orgasmic experience, if I can say that.
You did.
I know. And it just keeps growing and expanding, and it's so delicious. It's just so delicious. I feel one of the things that is so important, it was important for me, is to trust. Is to trust myself, and to trust what I'm receiving, trust what I'm saying, trust that I'm not making this up. That this is not just my imagination. It is truly who I am. And with that, it allows more to be revealed, because you're allowing that space. So, if I may, I like to turn this around and ask you, David, how you been feeling? What is the revealing that you have received within yourself that you like to share with everyone here?
Well, it's an ongoing process,
Right.
and there's really not a lot of detail. It's more a feeling of, because it's any detail has a little trace of limitation connected to it, especially if it comes with a label. But more just feeling this expansiveness and this feeling that you're everywhere, that you are seeing the world through a different lens. You see your infinite connection, and it sort of just permeates how you operate, because there's a feeling that's beyond words, and you're really kind of here and not here at the same time. And so you see everything from that place, and then you have much more of an awareness of where you came from and who you are, and then there's more.
Much more to be revealed.
Yeah.
I would agree with us trying to describe or try to box it in. It's very limiting, and it's it feels constricted, feels limiting, it feels very boxed in. Let's say the perfect description and how I've been experiencing this is, I think I may have shared this with you in the past. You know, in the where we used to really navigate in the field and have this energy, this symbiotic relationship with the field, it felt like it's very limiting, the field for me, operating from that space. I saw myself as being sitting in a boat in the middle of the lake. And when you're sitting in the boat in the middle of the lake, you can still see the land within the 360 perimeters of your site. And for me, I felt that was the field. It was still kind of feeling from that limited perspective, even though it's pretty vast.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we've stepped out of that and we've stepped into ourselves, which is this sea of infinite beingness. It's like taking yourself and putting yourself in the middle of the ocean and you're looking around, infinite. And this is the best way that I could be able to describe it, so it would translate into the 3D language. So having to sit in the middle of the ocean in a small little boat and knowing that every droplet is that infinite you. Can you imagine how many droplets that there are in the ocean? It's infinite. Can't trace it, you can't count it. It's just limitless continuum process. And it waves and changes and integrates one with another. It's just the continuum process. It's absolutely breathtaking when you feel that within you. And I personally feel that I can't get enough of it. Like, okay, next. What's next? So it's been it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful journey to access that limitless continuum process, beingness. Yeah.
So cool. I can hear the music playing when you were talking, and I can feel the dance that we all have with that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unique. And the part of it that's that everyone shares is that there's music, but what the music is and what the dance steps are unique to each person. So I was hearing your music and seeing your dance, and it took me to my music and my dance and so it's really beautiful to hear it expressed. And again, like we said, you really can never find the words, but as you start to paint the words, the music starts to play, and then the dance starts to happen, and then the flies come out.
Well, they want to dance too. They don't want to be left out. They want to share too. They want to share the experience.
We have a song called "Piss Off." Yeah, and you've shared many things with me about your experiences leading you to here, and they're incredible, and as only you could have, because they're just for you. And each person, that's what it is for them. So it's always fantastic to connect and with someone that I've experienced those things with, and know that even though we moved apart, and that the connection is still there. And that's with all of us, wherever those who are in our immediate family, and those who are in this new family, which is our bigger family. So I'm just thrilled to see your face and to have you join us. And when we first decided we were going to have guests, I thought of you, and took a while for it to happen, but I can feel your excitement and happiness, and I felt it even when we talked the other day, and you probably felt mine. And when Barbara and Robert did their broadcast on Sunday, or Barbara did hers, I'm sorry, and Robert was her guest, he talked about the power of the conversation, and how much more comes through, and that you start off talking about nothing, and then something amazing shows up. And already just seeing your smile and your eyes, something came up, you know. So, and then there's more. There's always more. So thank you for all that you just expressed.
Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for having me join your beautiful family, your beautiful extended family, of course. And I'm honored to be here. And thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of my journey, being a part of my alchemy, being a part of my life in every aspect, good, bad, ugly, all the above. So I'm grateful to you, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody. Because if it wasn't for everybody that came into my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Every single person played their part so brilliantly, and I'm truly in love with every aspect of every single being, not just humans, animals, ants, even the ant bites that I have. I actually honor it because I know there's a purpose for it, and it literally navigates me in so many beautiful directions that I wouldn't have experienced if it didn't happen. So everything that is happening, it is literally it is an experience of a whole new avenue opening up into a whole new direction, into a whole new stream, because there's so many streams available out there. And I'm just grateful. I mean, I could just I was about to go right into it. I don't know if you noticed it or not. I just went, all right, let me just pull back a little bit here. So thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And thank you for allowing me to participate in this process and just to allow me to share. So, yeah.
And yes, I know we could both talk for a long time.
I'm sorry?
I said, and yes, I know we both could talk for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hours.
It would be easy. Yeah. And yeah. So but if you have more to say, I'm not trying to stop you or anything.
No, I really do know that. I just I do have a tendency to hold back. So to allow I don't what's the word I'm looking for? So I'm not taking over the conversation completely, because you know me, I can do that so easily like that. But there is something that I want to share.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No.
Restraint.
I'm sorry.
Restraint. Is that the word you're looking for?
Yes. Absolutely. You know, there is something that that I felt that I wanted to share that came through about a a couple of days ago, that a mutual friend of ours, he came to an aha moment, which his aha moment was my aha moment. And which I'd like to share, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
So, you know, we were having this, discussion about the space that we're in, of course, that we were talking about earlier, the sea of infinite continuum process. And one of the things that he shared with me was that when he said, Moji, what I noticed with you is that you're always navigating through non-hierarchy, non-competition, no duality, no separation. And because of that, you're always in that unity consciousness within yourself. And he's, he was expressing, now I know why all of these external beings are always communicating with you. And I never really realized it because it's so innate, right? But for me, it was just like an aha moment in the awareness of my entire experience in this DNA skin suit and this doll. So it doesn't mean that I don't express how I feel, or I don't express, things that I see that is not to my liking, but accessing that part of us that is in unity consciousness is where we're literally tapped in to that infinite sea of continuum process of everything that is, that we're talking about, the wave. Because if you really feel into it, as I was talking about the wave of the sea, it doesn't judge. It just dances. It doesn't see itself as higher or lower. There's no hierarchy. There's no separation. There's a merge. It's that unity. It's the expression of connecting and merging and sharing and evolving and expanding and growing. And I've always have felt that since I was a little kid. And I feel like all children they come from that space. They're that, which of course we program them, the society programs them into being in separation and duality, and we put in the hierarchy and the competition, and the fear kicks in. And so that entire spectrum of being, of the words that we describe in English, which is very limited, that can sum up the experience, the totality of what I've been experiencing, even in the greater expanded version of it, of what it was last month, the month before, the month before, the month before, last year, and the year before, and it just continues to grow. So I felt that was something that I wanted to share, which I'm not really sure if I had shared that with you in the past or not, because I know we share a lot, so I don't know if it was something that I've shared with you in the past, but I wanted to share that.
Thank you. Yeah, briefly you had, but I'm glad you felt like you wanted to say it now, and you expressed it. So
yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know your contact with many beings. I understand that part of your existence.
I'm sorry, that part of me, one more time?
That part of your existence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the greatest lessons that I learned from one of the human feared beings that actually resides in this time-space reality called Earth, in this construct that occupies and shares the space with us. And this entity is purposely created, has been misrepresented, I would say. And upon coming in contact with this being, she shared with me, and it is a she because it is a queen. She shared with me one of the, well, maybe I could share the story to what happened. And then I can, share one of the greatest gifts that she shared with me. I had just moved to the Big Island. I was actually in Hilo for the first 3 weeks. It was within the third week. The first week was amazing because there are these little frogs called Koki, and they sing at night. And most of the people don't really like them, but for me, it was transformational. When I arrived on the island, I felt like they were completely singing in harmonics to match my frequency to the island. And I could feel the reverberation within my physical body at night when I would go to sleep. For the entire week, my entire body was reverberating to the frequency of their music together. And it is the most magnificent feeling. It's like cosmic candy stuff. And the second week, I was integrating this energy. The third week, I started having a complete change in my energy field. And as it progressed by the end of the third week, coming to the fourth week, it was increasing. It was to a point that I know almost to a degree that I was being targeted, not in a fear way at all. And I was, at that time, I was speaking to a friend on a regular basis every day, and I said to her, I'm actually being targeted, and I know I am because I could feel the energy of my physical body is being drained. And I was watching my physical body being completely drained out of its energy. Towards the end of the fourth week, I could barely walk to the bathroom. I was literally crawling on my hands and knees. And I mentioned to my friend, I don't think I'm going to make it the next day. It was the 29th day I was on the island. I said, I don't think I'm going to make it to the 30th day. What I like to do is provide you with all my information and have you take care of Lulu, which is my dog. And she will be taken care of for the rest of her life, and she will be, cared for. She said to me, Moj, you're going to be fine. Just get some rest. I said, I know there's something bigger happening. So as the conversation ended, it was around 6:00 my time. I actually went straight to bed. And I didn't think I was going to be able to get up the next day. I have never experienced anything like that in my entire life. When I woke up in the morning, I had the most profound energy running into my body, into my system. It was as though it was like a reboot. And I could hear, I'm ready to communicate with you. And my peeps asked me to, my people asked me to contact my friend and also contact another friend. because so as I have them in my earbuds, they can, do a three-way call. So as they're talking, I can follow the frequency of their conversation. So when I'm leaving my body, I can come back into my body knowing exactly where my body is, following their voice. So I called both of them, and they were having, I told them, I said, you guys need to continue having a conversation. I need to leave, but I'll be back. So as I had the earbuds in my ears, I was listening to them speaking, and of course, I left my body. And when I left my body, I was actually in front of this being that everyone really calls her, from everyone that knows of. I'm just asking permission, that's all. If it's okay for me to express what it is. She's known to be the black goo that everyone knows her as the black goo, not the black goo that is of Earth, the black goo that is brought from a different planet into this planet here. And she actually showed herself into this giant being in front of me. And as I was standing in front of her, and I was having, I basically asked her, I said, are you the one that has been basically drawing the energy from me throughout these last 2 weeks? She said, yes, I was testing you to see if you were going to go into a resistance or fight. And when I realized that you're not, I pulled back and I wanted to introduce myself to you. And so when we were standing in front of each other, and the next thing I know, she said, and I said, I asked her, who are you? And she said, I am the queen that provides she actually did this. She kind of moved her body, and you could see all of her offsprings. She moved her body to show me her offsprings. And she said to me, I'm being used against humanity, and my offsprings are being used against humanity. And they're taken away by our military to be used against humanity. And I said, and I really had nothing to say at that moment, because I was kind of like, okay. I had no idea about her. I didn't know her existence. I didn't know who she was. And then as she had showed herself to be this giant being, she actually brought herself down into a smaller size, so she's not so intimidating anymore. And so and I said to her, I said, how do you know? She said to me, I know who you are. And I said, how do you know who I am? And she said, because you dealt with one of my offsprings in Mount Shasta. I don't know if you remember this or not, from me expressing that I did come across this particular entity that I call Vampsy. Do you remember that I had shared that with you? Or do you recall? Well, I came across this entity, which was of the black goo in Mount Shasta. And he did the same exact thing, really expanded himself to try to promote fear. And he said, okay, now you're in my space. What do you think you're here to do? What do you think you're going to do? Basically, you're in my space. You're not going to get out. And I said, well, I'm here to give you my unconditional love. And from that moment, I changed that being's entire perception, entire experience, which she, the queen, had that awareness, because we're all connected. Everything is connected. And not only that we're connected, but everything that we do is recorded in our body, in our DNA, in our structure, in our field. And that's what she told me. She goes, everything you do, every choice that you make, every action that you make, everything is recorded in your field, in your DNA. So that's how she knew who I was and how I treated Vamsi in Mount Shasta. I called him Vamsi because instead of, I forgot what the acronym was for Vamsi. It was all positive names that I gave this being, and the acronym was Vamsi. It's like this. I forgot the V, what it's. Forgot what V stand for. This is years and years and years ago. You know, amazing. Vamsi. I don't know what the V is, and then AMCE. I don't remember what it stood for, but they were all positive words, loving words. So every time I needed assistance for anything, especially helping to clear people's fields, I would actually call Vamsi, and he would be there to assist by clearing people's fields that were actually. So when I spoke with this queen, and she says, I know who you are. I was like, how do you know? Because I've never been on the Big Island. I've never been here. But from her telling me that everything that we do is recorded in our body, it may sound very simple to what I just expressed. I was walking around like a zombie for 2 weeks. Just with that information, realizing that everything that we are, our thoughts, our perception, our beliefs, and how we act, how we respond, our choices, is a part of our record. And no one can hide. It's part of your experience and your record in this time-space reality. I felt that was being the most profound information that I have ever received from any beings that I've ever come across. And it continues. And it continues to be seen how not just. So I'm going to change this a little bit. So our physical body is basically like a data system. We're literally holding all the data and all the information within our system and all of our experiences and anything that we really don't want to hold on to. It is that simple to be able to just pull it out of our system and ball it up and throw it away. So we're not holding on to any experiences or any choices that we've made that continues to maybe bring shame, blame, guilt, which creates separation, which creates hierarchy, which creates duality, which creates all of these things that prevents us from really reaching our full potential. So yeah, don't think I shared that with you, had I, in the past?
I don't think so.
Okay. So that was one of my one of the beings that I had the pleasure of meeting, and I still continue to talk with her. So, yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to just read a couple things now.
Okay.
And so we'll put me on full screen. And thank you once again for being a guest of mine today and sharing your world and through your face actually and through your eyes, your vision for humanity, your love for humanity. And there's so much more, obviously, but maybe you'll come on again and we'll talk some more.
I would love that. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Moj. So I'll read these two pieces. The first one's called "You've Just Forgot that You're Divine." Just take a look around you. You'll be amazed at the things that are found, the answers to all your questions in the quietness of a sound. Just take a look around you. Things will appear before your eyes in the colors of a rainbow and in the clouds above the sky, in the voice of a stranger or a word from a friend. It will show up if you provide the space for what you need to come in. In the stillness of the morning, in the bustle of midday, in the quietness of the evening, all perfect moments to find your way to the truth you've summoned forth. From inside, you send the signs to point to what you've always known, always just a matter of time. Smile now and open up to the full expanded you, the one who's been here for 1 trillion years, the one who's leading you. And let that smile become a laugh, heard from the beginning of time. For nothing is ever really wrong. You've just forgot that you're divine. It is the time of your revealing. Through the eyes, the power and the wisdom and the light and the truth come pouring out, revealing all secrets that have tried to remain hidden, and revealing the majesty and magnificence that is lit up by the light of your home, your origin. Look into those eyes with an open heart and see your world that exists and that has existed since the beginning of time. All that you are and all that you have been is now about to be revealed. It has been slowly happening over the many lifetimes that you have existed on planet Earth. And like the building of a musical composition that starts slowly and gently builds through all of its dynamics before the arrival of its crescendo, so too has your journey to the revealing of all that you have been building slowly and gently to the crescendo of all the gifts that you have brought with you to free humanity. As the veil of forgetfulness, which has blocked all your mastery, is slowly lifted, the power and beauty of your being stands naked for you and the world to see. And it is in that nakedness that we will no longer be able to hide, and our friend denial will no longer have a say. In this time where everything is coming up in everyone's field, we watch everything come and go with an ease that has never been before. Like the ease of the musical notes that come forward and then disappear to make room for the next note, until that moment when the crescendo arrives. A revealing of all the parts that make the music magnificent. No note is wasted, and no part of your journey has been wasted. And even though you somehow know that the crescendo is coming, you cannot prepare for the response that you will have, and neither will you be able to prepare for the response by others to your revealing. There will be a beautiful light filled with all the colors that make up your music, and a royal and regal countenance will be seen and felt. You are standing in the knowledge of who you truly are, an immortal spiritual being who has been coming and going for trillions of years, blocked from the remembrance of itself until now. This is who you are. You are the creator beings of this universe, and you have sat on high and holy councils. I tell you these things because it is time for you to know, and it is time for you to believe. In your believing, you will remember, and in your remembering, you will know, and from your knowing, you will live. It is the time of your revealing, and it is through your eyes that you will pour out your love, gifts, and power for all humanity. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you again, Moji, for being a guest today. And now we ask you to celebrate with us for your revealing. And we say cheers and congratulations to you for what you will see and what you will give from this moment forth. I wish you a perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.